Now more on the apocalypse, the four horses of the apocalypse as commonly thought of. And and this is Sawyer, I guess, if you're watching this one by itself. But the 6:2, Revelation 6:2, and I saw a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given to him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Now, I already talked about how a horse represents a human body, and white describes its characteristics of that human body. It's a white horse. And that could be color, name, behavior, ethnicity, loyalty, etc. Color, I guess, meaning race, because anyway. And I guess coloration, pigmentation is part of that potentially too. And behavior, of course, white behavior, which would be pure behavior from the perspective. It's also white is leucos, I believe, which is light. Light and white are commonly interchangeable. Like Jesus said, when you have your whole body filled with light, then that's the goal. Then you have only the mind of God in you, as opposed to having colorations that are different shades of that. Which I guess as the you of man, were a shade. I don't know, that's not from Tiendo. But then I went on to say that this rider of the white horse has a bow, which was Greek toxon, which actually meant to produce or travail, and I believe has related to bearing young. So this rider actually has in his hands, in other words, his hands-on work. And Tiendo said that they were midwives, and they were basically birthing us, but it's actually Do that was birthing us, but T was doing it also, and they were doing it as a team, because T was teaching Do how to birth new members into the kingdom of God. And so it was actually a birth for Do as well. He was being born into fatherhood, as opposed to being a son without his own litter. There's a difference. Where our potential is to be born at all. Birth is a graduation as well. I mean, and there's all kinds of stages in that graduation, and they don't end. There's all kinds of tasks that you can graduate to do, but the first steps for us is to form a bond with the older members that come. Once we get past our fears that it's going to change everything about us, that we're going to be losing something by those changes, when in reality your life becomes more fulfilled. Although it always is a challenge, because they don't remove everything from you, like by surgically doing it. You have to do the work yourself. And people have started to do that, regardless of whether they know Tiendo or not. For long, ever since the beginning, I guess people have been trying to modify their behavior according to what the kingdom of God has given to us in the Old Testament and the New Testament, and also in previous cultures, or simultaneous with the culture of the Old Testament and the New Testament, with Krishna and Buddha, and perhaps others that I don't know about. But so I want to move on from that part of it and go to the second part of this Revelation 6:2, where it says that he has a bow in his hands, and he has a crown was given to him. In other words, he became a king. He was born into kingship, born into being a father, because of having that litter that his father gave him. So his father basically gave him the crown, and he went forth conquering, and that means every battle, and then he conquered finally. So now the term conquer is Nikao in the Greek. Nikao, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it boils down to victory, basically, and overcoming is the same word being used in Revelation 2, actually, where it says, to him who overcomes, I will give you this and give you that. And overcoming is a requirement of the next level to become a member of the next level. That's why nobody does it for you. They do it for you to show you how. That's all. And that's a big thing, to do it for us, to show us how. Because that's not easy for them to do, and they don't enjoy doing that. But they're willing to sacrifice what their level of fulfillment or self-fulfillment or whatever you want to have you look at it, knowing that they can actually help do a task for their father, for their older member. Because that's the way it works. We're in service to our older members. We're not in service to one another. So even if we do nice things for others, we're doing it because the next level has taught us that that's the way we generate next level behavior, is by giving service to. And yes, we feel compassion for those that can benefit by the service. I mean, there's no lack of compassion in the next level, opposite of what people say. But I really don't want to get into that right now. But the overcoming, the victory, the conquering, relates to Revelation 3:5. He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment. There's that word white again. And I won't blot out his name from the book of life. In other words, everybody isn't in the book of life, as some even Christians say. There's a person that claims to be one of the two witnesses that has a blog, and he keeps sending me little notes that basically saying that Revelations 12 is talking about her, because she's a woman and she's one of the two witnesses or whatever. Maybe I'm getting that mixed up, but she doesn't demonstrate any evidence. All she does is quote scriptures. Now, that's all I'm doing too right now, right? Well, yes, but I'm relating it to Tiendo with 19 years with their experience of what they said. And they didn't talk scriptures. They didn't tell me all this stuff. The only thing that Do did was sat us down once and told us that Revelation 12 woman was T. T wasn't even with us when he told us that. I mean, she was with us physically in the camp, which was rare for him to come to us without T. But and he just spent like an hour on it, basically, and that was the end of it, on Revelation 12. So according to this verse, we need he that overcometh. So in other words, the qualification for being in the kingdom of God, in the kingdom of heaven, is to overcome. Now, that doesn't mean that when a soul, like right now, let's say people believe in Tiendo enough to where they talk about it to others, and that's not defined how much or how little or or what you say. That's all based on also forming a relationship with Do and trying to be keen to what Do would do. And it's hard to know what Do would do, so we take chances in that regard. But we don't do anything that's not reversible. And if we make mistakes, we correct them as we can. Anyway, so, and we're not going to get voices in our head telling us what to do and all that. That's baloney. That's the Luciferian way of doing things. Like striking Paul with blindness. That's a Luciferian way. Not that Paul couldn't have benefited from it and become of service to the next level, but we don't know what the next level thought about him. But I believe he got another chance. That's all. I think he was saved. That's what I was going to. That if you believe at a certain point, and belief is having a certain amount of trust, and we have trust when we're actually willing to talk to the next level and say, in this case, the fast track talking to the next level is to talk with the names T and Do, because those are the handles that were given to us. now. So it's like saying, Doe, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Then Doe responds in life circumstances, and he may come to you in a dream once in a while and tell you something, but he's going to do whatever he feels like his older member would have him do to help you, which his older member gave him, so he doesn't necessarily have to hear it again from his older member if he's already been given lots of experience with that, and he has. So, but that's just the way the process works. It doesn't mean that he still won't report back to his older member what he did, and check and see if he did things that could have been done a little bit closer to his older member's way of doing things, and that's the way it works. So, but anyway, so well, every one of these points takes so long to talk about, so I better keep this video short.